Hi all, and welcome back to my channel. Another challenge has been issued. It has been issued by Diecast Loonie, and it's the Vintage Car Challenge. I have some in front of you that you see here that I'll probably be opening up for the first time. This challenge is kind of fortuitous. It came, I guess, at the time where I just got some older castings in. So what I'm going to do is I'll show them to you. I'm going to have some Newcastle brown ale. I hope that's not an insult for you Brits. And I'm going to see and open up some models that have been sitting around for a while. So why don't we get to it? Alrighty, I need to take a sip of my nice imported beer that we're finally starting to get back. The chances are it's brewed here, so it's not overly imported, but let's see here. Oh, it's actually brewed in Tadcaster, England. So these are actually imported. Love the Newcastle. Hope I don't get a copyright strike or some sort of a weird guideline strike for this, but this is num 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 tasty. So the first car is the Tail Rider with high-rise suspension and this one is from copyrighted 1995. I got this. A buddy of mine owns a stall in the flea market, so he sometimes gets a lot of the cars, but I haven't seen him in a while because of COVID, and unfortunate news that his wife passed away from COVID, so he hasn't been there in a long time. But he's back now and he's ready to go. So this is one of the cars that I actually got from him, and let's crack her open. Ooh, I actually used some glue on these ones. There we go. So this is that's the first one. Is the Tall Rider. As you can see, it's kind of nifty, and I'm not entirely sure what suspension they're talking about, but don't quite sure what car this is supposed to represent. It's like a fantasy casting. It's almost like a Chevy Lumina kind of look, but this is a wild casting. It's made in China. So that would be my first one, and the second one is going to be a BMW 850i with opening doors, or doors open, as you can see on the package. And it was released in 1995, so I guess it's fairly vintage. Oh, hey. I almost had an international incident. Let's get a little bit closer, and sure enough, the door's open on it. It's a very nice casting, a nice kind of a metallic silver with a nice red interior, plastic base. Some nice painted lights, front end detail. You know, it's odd that in 1995 they were able to accomplish this, but in today's day and age, it's hit and miss with what they do with their paint colors on their cars. But this is it's a sweet casting. This is one I actually didn't have in my collection, so it's nice to actually have it. The next one is the Range Rover, and this one again also was released in 1996, and it's doesn't really say what what series or whatever it was for, but I guess that's not really relevant. And it's a nice little color with broom on it. Oop. It's a very nice sharp casting. I do like it with a nice chrome base, which leads to the bumpers. A nice little gray interior, windows down. I don't know about those saw blade wheels, but I guess that's how they really came back then, so you can't really argue. But it's a very neat. Could live without the tampos, but still, it's a screech, vroom, vroom. It's a nice little sharp casting on this one. The next one I have here, let me zoom out, is the Gulch Stepper. And it's, again, also very neat casting. But with, there we go. Almost looks like a front end of a Plymouth Horizon or a Dodge Omni or whatever you want to call it, kind of a shape. And then they stuck a Jeep at the end of it. But it's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat little fun color. And again, this one was released in 1995. So it's see, they this one kind of confuses me. You got the very large tires, but you got a teeny weeny little spare, so I don't know how that's going to work. If anything, they should have put the spare at the back. But that's the four of the cars so far. The next one, what's going to be is, I'll have to zoom in for this one a bit, is a, oh, do I have it there? Yes. It's a Corgis Junior Whiz Wheels Marcos XP. I'm not entirely sure when the patent number was on this one, but it is a fairly old casting. And it has some little bit of wear, but it's a metal base, a metal body, kind of a, I don't know if that's a gold interior, it looks like it. But this one is a really nice one. Again, I have had this one for a long time. I can't remember quite exactly where, but it is a really sharp casting. The next one is, let's see here, we'll get it to focus, is the Matchbox Vauxhall Guildsman 1971. It's in fairly decent shape. Oop, there we go. And it has been around, I've had this one for probably close to 25-30 years. I can't remember exactly where I bought it, but it's been in my collection for a long time, and it's held out. It's managed to survive as long as it did, so I'm going to try to keep it as just as good a shape as I found it. The next couple cars is going to be a little bit on the larger side, just a 1/43rd, but I'll start off with this one here, which is it's a dinky toy, and they just call it a racing car. It's from 1933-34. I put the labels on it so I don't have to look for it. So this would probably be one of the older castings I do have, and it's, it does show its age. You've got already flat spots on the tires, but at this point, knowing its history, I prefer to leave it as is, and there's really no point in changing any of it, because it is just simply beautiful the way it is. It does have quite a lot of its paint left, and the figure's head isn't broken. Good English. see if you can find here. See if we can see inside it. Dicky Toys Meccano. So it is a really wild model. The next one is again a Dinky toy. It's a MG midget, and this one is a repaint. The gentleman who I bought it from at least was honest enough to say it's a repaint, but it's fairly obvious. But I think he did a really nice job on it. It's a reproduction steering wheel, a screen, and the gentleman, but he did a really nice job in the painting. Could have left the rims the way they were, but he did a nice job in kind of putting it all together. But again, it's one of the older castings I do have, and I think it's really sharp. The next one is, it's a Corgi Austin 810. I'm gonna have to say this would be roughly 63. I think that's the idea of the path application, is you got the last several numbers and then 63 is the release date. If I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. But this one is a neat in that it's a driver, I think, moto school driver training car, but it has, when you turn the wheel at the top, front steering wheel's turned, and you can see the way the mechanism works. It's actually kind of funky car. You can see a little bit of the front tire is deteriorating, but I have replacements, so I'm not worried about that. I could easily replace that once, but I leave it as is until it completely disintegrates. Then I'll change it over. But it's a really nice casting. It has, you know, its lines are fairly clear. All the decals are on front and rear, so that's kind of neat. The next one I have is a Chaparral by Mibitoys, and I don't have the release date on this one, but I'm sure it's from the 60s or 70s, depending on when these Chaparrals ran. But it's a really nice car because you got a nice movable wing, and the doors do open on it on both sides. But that side, the little nub is broken off, but anyways, it does, like I said, it does open too. And the fun thing is that in the back you could pop this panel off. That's nice. It is actual metal screening and the metal cover, and you could see the engine detail and the spare tire in the back. So that's kind of a neat little feature. And I think at some point Mattel bought maybe, but I'm not really quite sure. If you guys know about it, let me know in the comments. But it's you know, it goes on quite easily, clicks in nice and tight, and it makes for a pretty funky race car. Now the last one I'm going to show is a fairly big one, but it's my actual very first large scale 1/18 model, but it's more like 1/16 scale, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will recognize this. This came out in the 80s when Barago first started coming out with their 1/18 lines. This was one of the ones that was in their line, which is the big Bugatti. And this one, so this one's probably from about 84, 85, maybe a little bit later. But you could already tell that the chroming is starting to kind of disintegrate, but it's all intact. It's changed in color, and but it's It's all there, it's all complete. And this is one of the models that no matter what, I will never get rid of, even though you could still find them and you could still find them online. But this one here is my very first 1/18th. So this one sticks with me no matter what. But that's it for my video. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank Diecast Loonie for issuing this challenge. It was very neat. It was actually weirdly hard to think of which ones to put on, but I hope I did well enough for this challenge. Again, thank you very much, Diecast Loonie. Go visit his channel. It's a phenomenal channel. I subscribe to him and watch his videos as frequently as I possibly can. And I will see everyone in the next challenge video or in the next video. Take care.